I was really curious on how the numbers for the fatal and non-fatal shootings broke down, what parts of town they were. The South Side is historically always has the most crime activities, and I was curious as to how many shootings there have been there, especially this year, because we've seen an increase in shootings, and not just shootings where people have been shot, but also shootings where there have been houses or cars or just general gunfire. So I was curious on what the data would show me. So I looked up the records that I had access to. It's not official. I'm probably missing at least a dozen more. I was surprised that the north side only had 7 total shootings, and there was a triple homicide there in February. So it's been relatively quiet there. I grew up on the west side, and it was always real quiet on the west side, but the west side actually has more total shootings than the north side does. So the fact that the north side is quiet, that kind of surprised me a little bit. While I was studying population trends and stuff, I had thought that that the population was shifting west of Market Street to east of Market Street. So obviously, in crime circles where you have where you have a larger population, you tend to have more crime. But when I broke down the shooting data for this year for the non-fatal shootings, it was just about even. It was now this is including the homicides as well. There were, I think, 23 apiece, 23 on the west side of Market Street, 23 on the east side of Market Street. And then there was one where the location was unknown. The person said he was just shot somewhere on the south side. So I was kind of surprised at that. I thought there would be more activity east of Market Street, and it seems that way when I get the reports in the morning and I look at, like a shooting where nobody's hurt, like a house shot up or a car or something. But the data shows that at least the people who are being wounded, it's distributed just about evenly. The investigators, not exactly, but I talked to Guy Burney from the SURF program a couple weeks ago. They work with at-risk people in the city who are at risk of either being involved in violence or committing violence, and he said the pandemic had a lot to do with it. People, when you're struggling financially, you don't know how you're going to eat or if you're going to work. Little things tend to blow into big things and you lose your temper. He said there's a lot of that has been going on, and then that impacts other neighborhoods of the city because everybody wants to be safe. Not so much data, but I know this year from doing stories, I know that a lot of people who have been shot, that has stemmed from other previous shootings. There's a lot of retaliation going on. It's an old story in Youngstown. It's been going on for years. Some years it's worse than others, but when you have a non-fatal shooting, you want to make an arrest right away, because if you don't, then the person who shot, he's going to go and try to get retaliation, and then they're going to go to try and and it just keeps going on until somebody gets killed. Sometimes unfortunately, it's an innocent person. So that's what I've been seeing so far.